Hi guys, it's Bean with America Junk Boss. I am making a video today. We are going over guidelines. I find that this video could be important if you're just starting off. It could give you some tips of guidelines and why I'm even writing these in the first place. I'm writing them because I'm hiring new people in my company. We finally reached to the point where we're just so busy that we have to hire to keep up with all the jobs that are coming in. So even if you're about to hire, this might be something you might want to do, is make guidelines and rules, just so that way you already kind of went over the basics with your new employees, so that way they have an idea of what to not do or do. I don't know if I finished yet, but I'm just going along, and if I have to add more, I'll add more. But I think I got almost like 25 or so rules of junk removal. You don't even realize how many rules there are in junk removal until you start going over all this, because there's a lot of rules actually. Anyway, so I kind of just put like, welcome to our team. On this page we'll go over guidelines we must strictly reinforce for safety of all leaders and team members. Because I will have leaders, and I will have team members. So this applies for everybody. And it applies for me too. Me and Adam. So we're going to do steel-toe boots or shoes are required. Stepping on nails is very common. No soft bottom shoes, like, Nikes that have like those soft squishy bottoms. I've had nails literally drive in the bottom of my shoes multiple times. I'm so lucky I haven't got like seriously hurt from that. So if I was to have an employee, I would really make sure that they have a hard bottom steel toe shoe, just because you're moving heavy items. You don't want them to hurt their foot and be down and can't work. So no sandals, flip-flops, all that. Number 2 is safety glasses are required when operating tools, machinery, sledgehammer, when you're in dusty environments, or when picking up new insulation or broken drywall. No exceptions. We want to make sure that their eyes are protected and nothing gets irritated and they have to go home or go to the hospital because they got something in their eye. So make sure you tell them, wear those safety goggles. 3 is wearing company shirt is required. Many days we are working in a professional setting with clients and neighbors are watching. You may wear jeans, shorts, sweats, but no pajama bottoms. Just make sure, a lot of times we work alone just because we do like a lot of abandoned houses, but that doesn't matter, because sometimes the owner of that building that was abandoned will come in and check on us, and a lot of times the neighbors just want to know what we're doing, and so we just gotta stay looking professional no matter what, because even if we stop at the gas station to pump gas, they want to see us at our best because it'll bring us more money. Sorry that there is a train and I don't have a microphone yet, but I will get one soon. It should pass over. It sucks living by a train. Alright. 4. Respirators are N95 masks. They're required for any homes with mold, water damage, foul smells, or handling rooms with toxic waste. We want to make sure that our lungs are protected, because we're always sweeping and in dust, and it just, even if you're just doing dust all the time, it's just so hard on the lungs. I literally had breathing problems a few times just because of so much dust and tearing up carpet. It's just, even when you tear up carpet, wear a mask, because you're tearing it up and there's dead skin cells that like accumulate all in the air, and it just will hurt your throat. So just wear a mask. Anyways, so number 5, wearing gloves, ones with good grips. That's good, because sometimes you get splinters and you're dealing with a lot of construction debris, wood, nails. You don't want to scratch your hands or cut yourself with some glass or broken anything. No climbing ladders without permission. We just don't want you to get hurt. And I always want a spotter to be around somebody if there is a ladder involved. But hopefully there's no ladders involved anytime soon. We've done boarding windows for banks before, but other than that, like, that's something my workers probably will not be doing, but just putting it out there anyway. No taking any items on the property or home without discussion to the owners. I don't want my workers to be wasting time going through a bunch of stuff because, say, like, there's dressers full of clothes your size or something, and we can't waste all that time. We do donate and recycle already, and so we will deal with most of that stuff. Your workers need to just stay busy, working and clearing out the houses as fast as possible, and not worrying about taking little knickknacks and paddywhacks home. You don't want your workers to become a hoarder, because that could happen pretty easy. Anyway, so no profanity. Be mindful of the neighbors. They will often want to use our services as well based off our professionalism. So yeah, don't be screaming when you're outside and cussing, because the neighbors, they're listening, they're watching, and they might be thinking like, oh, I do have that dirty old mattress downstairs and I probably should call them. But they're not going to want to call us if we're calling each other a bunch of F-bombs and anyways. Let's see, where am I at? Number 9, no smoking ever in or on the property. Stay away from sheds, barns, and structures, including the homes. If you need a smoke break, go to the sidewalk, alley, and be sure the cigarette is completely died out and disposed. Do not toss it back on the earth. Yeah, I really put that. Like I said, this is a rough draft, but that's how I feel. Do not put your cigarette butt back on the ground. We're a cleaning company. The last thing I want is for the neighbors to see that you smoke a cigarette and then you litter. We don't do that. Hey, don't make me cranky, but anyway, so number 10. No, and these are just things that you can, utilize for yourself. So, I mean, these are what I do. I do all this. I don't just make rules and not follow them. I follow all of these rules, and almost every day they're all somewhat being used. Besides the ladder, we don't really do much ladders, but it has came in use before. So after smoking, I put no coming to work under the influence. If we suspect or notice you working under the influence, you will be sent home or terminated. No alcohol or drinking on the job is allowed. A lot of times we will find bottles of alcohol on the job. Just don't crack it open, and don't be that guy. It's just really not worth losing your job for, and this is a really fun job sometimes. Anyways, but yeah, just don't come to work already drunk. Don't go out to the bar all night and think you could get 1 hour of sleep and work all day. This is a very labor demanding job, especially now that it's summer and the heat's here. Just, if you cannot drink, don't drink. I recommend that, but if you're gonna drink, make sure you at least get 8 hours of sleep. Anyway, so number 11, report any drugs, guns, weapons, bodies, deceased or living pets to the owners immediately. It is required to follow the laws of the state and bring in compliance for legal matters. Cannot touch that stuff, guys. It's very important. A lot of that stuff we can't dispose it. We can't toss it out. We have to give it to the state. It's the rules, and we don't want to get in trouble because that was known to be there and then we took it. Now we're at fault. We don't want to do any of that. We just want to be truthful, honest, and dispose that stuff the right way and give it to the police. There's going to be a lot of times that police are involved in junk removal, and it's good because sometimes we help even solve a case or something. Anyways, so number 12, no turning on appliances, electrical or gas items. We don't want to flood or burn down a house, so do not just start flicking on stuff inside the house. Half these houses are very raggedy and they're already falling apart. You turn a sink on and now you just flooded the kitchen because you didn't realize it was flooding out the bottom. You don't want to have to clean up more of a mess, and you don't want to make this a big issue that you just don't want to turn on anything that can start a fire. You don't want to, I don't even want them using grinders inside the house, because the sparks from a grinder can stay in the walls and just catch the house on fire hours later after you finish the job. You have to be very careful. Just do not start testing washers and dryers to see if they work. Do not do any of that there. If we decide to take anything home from a job, we will test it here, or somewhere else, not here. Or not at the house. Okay, so yeah, I'm just saying, like, don't even light a cigarette up in the house or anything, or just don't even light a lighter in the house. Of course, you should not light a cigarette in the house, but do not light a lighter for a cigarette in the house, because you don't know what's in the air quality there. You don't want to start a fire. You don't want to blow up with the fire too. All right, anyways, so I always think of like the worst case scenarios, so I'm very careful on everything that we do. That's why we just don't test any appliances or anything that plugs into the house there. We don't want to get in trouble. Our insurance doesn't cover that. We're not plumbers and all that. Anyways, so no damaging the walls or flooring when moving items. If you cannot move an item due to the weight or bulk of the item, call owners. We will help. We have to be very careful and remove the junk without scratching or hurting the property. We take before and after photos of every room and wall, so we know what it was like before any of the junk was moved. We know what the floors look like. We know what the walls look like. So do the owners. Do not scratch, and don't start trying to manhandle items to get it out the house if it's going to cause more of a problem. You're going to be stuck there having to mud the wall and waiting for it to dry, if that's even an option. Sometimes it's not. So just don't even move anything that you don't feel capable of not being able to move without a helper. You should always be moving heavy items with another person. I even have to tell my partner this often. I'm here to help you, because I don't care if it's only 50 pounds, that my two hands take off 25 pounds. We're both less breaking our back to move that item, and we're just being more careful. And you always want to be careful, because I'm telling you, you do not want to damage property. You want to own property. You don't want to damage property. Anyways, but so number 14, absolutely no one is permitted inside or on the property. Okay, because just oftentimes, like, neighbors will ask if they can see what is inside, or if they could take a look really quick. Just never allow that. Explain to them, like, we're not allowed to have anyone on this property, because that's a liability to our company if you were to get hurt. And if they just refuse, call 911, call the owners, explain to the police that they're on private property and just refusing to leave, and let them deal with it. I've had many people just wondering what we're up to. Be nice to the neighbors, of course, and hi, hello, just please don't step on this property, ma'am, because we're clearing it out. Some just the air quality over here isn't good right now. Just, whatever to get them kind of off of the property. Keep them away from your work trucks. Do not let kids play around your work trucks. They think your trucks are cool. They start playing and hiding under them. You don't notice. You don't want that accident. Just keep everybody off the property. They're going to ask, can I come inside the house just to see real quick? I want to buy it. No, nobody. Not the ex-person who lived there 10 years ago. Not the person who lived there 5 days ago. Once you're hired to clean it out, they're not allowed there. So don't let them fool you. Anyway, so number 15 is never allow, so this kind of goes with it. Never allow anyone inside the trash trailers, your dump trailer, whatever you use. Sometimes a passerby will try to look through your junk, but they can get hurt, and you got to explain to them that they're a liability. because a lot of times you're already throwing it away. So now that it's in your truck on the curb, they think, oh, I could have that now, and they'll start jumping in your trailer, jumping in your truck, and digging through your shit when you're not looking, or maybe you are looking and they don't care and they just try to do it anyway. You have to stop them, because if they get scratched by a nail, cut on some glass, just hurt any kind of way, because there's a lot of dangerous shit that goes in our trailer, stuff that goes in our trailer. You know, it's just it's a liability. They could get really hurt, so don't do that. 16, before entering a property, beware of squatters, ex-tenants. Call 911 if someone is there who shouldn't be. Oftentimes a realtor or owner of the property will walk in while you're working. That's okay. Make sure you cleared a clear path for them and warn them if anything's in the way that wasn't before. You don't want them to get hurt. Anyone else shows up and tries saying that it's their items, tell them you were hired by the owner of the building and are clear to remove everything, and they need to be off the property, or call 911 then the owners. Basically, sometimes you will run into squatters. They're living there. They're not supposed to be. You tell them get out now. If they don't listen, then go ahead and call 911. Don't let anything get too ugly. Don't get too ugly or scary. These people can be dangerous. They can have weapons, and they're clearly not in their right state of mind anyways. And to them, you're taking their home, even though it's not their home. But you just got to be very careful. I sometimes in sketchy areas and houses will knock on the door and I'll say, hey, is anybody here? We're here to do some work. Is anybody here? I say it really loud, and then if nobody responds, you know, good. You don't got to deal with squatters today. Okay, so stay off soft spots on flooring throughout the house. I've been dealing with a lot of soft spots lately, actually. There is soft spots or fall hazards. You need to be aware of your path to remove the junk. If the junk's stuck far out in a soft spot, I just wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even go about moving that if you think you're gonna fall through a soft spot. I have went by a freaking dishwasher once, and it was so soft around it. My leg fell into the basement, and I was just lucky that the rest of the floor around me didn't collapse. You know, I wouldn't be here doing this right now. I'd probably be in a cast. So you gotta be really careful with soft spots that lead to a lower level, and you don't want to twist your ankle. All that will put you out of work, and it's very common to come across very soft floors. Also charge more money for that, because there's fall hazards and it wastes your time, and you don't get it clean as fast as normal because you gotta tippy toe over soft spots. So no using, oh god, so this one's serious though, but no using broken toilets at jobs. Like, don't clog and leave a fresh, turd in a toilet that is not functioning. Toilets are a part of the remodel that follows our clean out, so they see them before we clean and they see them post cleaning. They will know if we dropped something in their toilet, so don't even use the toilet. Use the bathroom before work. If there's not one close by, you'll have to go there. Just don't use those broken toilets that don't flush. They're already pretty bad anyways. I doubt you'd want to. But anyway, so number 19, we're just known for not leaving a crumb behind. So just recheck each room, cabinet, and drawers before finishing up. Just check one more time, because sometimes I find a penny or something that shouldn't be there. I don't like anything in my after photos, so to have a perfect after photo, just double check So we are known for being fast paced. So remember to bring water, eat your fuel, eat your lunch, stay hydrated, because we work in small, hot areas, attics, spots, and you're working fast, and it gets hot, and you get dizzy, and sometimes you're in a respirator, and you got to work slower, but we're still working pretty fast. We're wearing respirators. We're doing a lot of work. Okay. So let's see what else. Yeah, dang, I made quite a bit of rules here. Guidelines. Alright, stay away from junk with wasps nest inside. This is kind of like, I hate wasp, but we don't want to get stung by 100 of them and be out of work either. So, or any animal that you feel endangered by. If the conditions are infested and dangerous, we will just have to ask that the owner gets pest control first, because they're not going to really try to move that junk that way, and neither are we. We don't want to get hurt, bit, we don't want to get sick. So we don't want to deal with infestation. So we will just try to make sure the owner takes care of that if it was known. And if it was unknown, then we'll just like let them know that there is a wasp nest right there and nobody wants to get hurt, or bee's nest, whatever, where they all come swarming at you and stinging you, and then you could die. That's scary. Alright, there's a squirrel up there. Yeah, I'll show you. Oh, he's gone. Okay, never mind. Alright, anyways. When handling any object over 80 pounds, I kind of just made 80 pounds up. I might change that amount. But we ask that 2 people remove that object together, and always help in that a spotter stays on guard, and the other team stay on guard that the other team member isn't going to fall, drop something on themselves, scratch or damage walls, floors, grass, lawns. We don't even want to slide a dresser along grass. We don't want to tear up their grass. Some people are pretty picky about their grass. I don't want to be responsible for it. You don't want to get yelled at because you tore up their lawn. So even if it's like a 25-pound dresser, yeah, it might not be that heavy, but it's bulky. And we don't want to start dragging and sliding stuff and risking scratching floors and not having somebody to tell us like, oh, you're getting too close to the wall or door. Don't do that, you know? So just be careful. Always use 2 people, especially for big bulky items. You know, you can't just walk and see when you have something huge in your hand. It's really good to always have a spotter with you. Always 2 people on a clean out. It's safer with more than 1 person on a clean out. 2 people always moving a bulky item or anything that's really heavy. I don't care if it's already on a dolly. You should be helping your partner, making sure that they're not about to hit the door handle when they are pulling it out the dolly. A dolly is not an extra set of eyes, so always help. Okay, because you guys will both be responsible for all of that. So anyways, let's see. We sweep every room on completion. We always just do a nice good sweep at the end. That helps our photos come out a little bit shinier and better. It makes the clients happier that they didn't have to do that, and that they didn't see like little pieces of beads and hair ties and just little shit that just falls out of couches. You'll notice like the floors are just pretty much always needing to be swept, so a bunch of little stuff falls out of couches, dressers, all those stuff. So it's just nice to do one good final sweep. Little junk I consider just junk still, so property managers and stuff, they really appreciate just the cleanliness of our company, so it's just what we're known for. No cell phone use in front of client unless it's work related or an emergency. So that's pretty self-explanatory because that's how most jobs like are. Come to work showered, fresh, deodorant. You know, we're working in hot and small enclosures so often. We just don't want to smell each other being unfresh, you know, so. Take before and after photos of each room, zoomed out to get the best view of the entire room. Take after photos also before leaving the property of each room. Never forget a room. Even though they don't ask me to do it, I do it for my own proof. I do it just for proof, you know. I used to work for banks and their clean outs, and they require it, so it's just kind of instilled in my brain, and I just think it's really good to just do it anyway. So we're gonna do that always. So if your picture was crappy, take another, because I need perfect photos for sure. Okay, 100%, no blurry photos. I want them all to be perfect. I want you in the same angle when you first took it. So yeah. Okay, so if I give you a key, if I like give you the key and I leave and you're about finished with work or something, and my thing turned off, I want the key set back exactly where it came from. So if it was in a lockbox, I want it back in the lockbox. I think my computer died. I was like reading all of that off my laptop. Anyway, so that's out of the picture now because it died. Let me see if I can get this to stay still. Alright, yeah. So basically just losing a key is probably about the worst thing that can happen, because after we clean out, somebody is about to show that house, sell that house, go to that house, go look at our job, and if you lose the key, none of that can happen. It's a big stall, and I don't want to have to go there and go run to the store to go buy another lock, to go fix the lock. You know, I'm a junk removal specialist, so please let's not lose the dang keys. I don't want to do doors. That's not my thing. Anyways, but it happens. Sometimes they do get lost. You just need to be super responsible with the key. As soon as you open the door, put the dang key back in the lockbox. America. Alright, that's about it for today. I'll go over more topics later. My video is running a little bit long. And anyways, keep on junking, junkers. I'll be back.